the outside world here. Just takes a moment. Okay, you're live. Thanks.
Okay, fine. Basically, I don't see you on screen, so I can't tell who is here. So whoever is taking the Joanne, if you're taking the minutes, just make sure that we've got everybody.
All right, I'll do the roll call, Marty. Marty Stiglick
Okay, fine.
is here. Kathy Carone is here. Doris Vieira
Here.
and Brian.
And Brian. Okay.
Brian's here.
Is there anyone present from the public? Oh, okay,
no,
fine. I cannot see on screen, so I see everybody on Zoom. That has popped up on my TV set. Is there anyone present from the public?
No.
No, okay. Is there anyone present for the Chamber of Commerce?
I have nobody here. Brian, do you know of anybody that that Henry Vassal may be bringing?
Not tonight.
Okay, good.
Okay, and present discussion. I guess we're having a guest speaker who is going to be doing an update on Advanced Connecticut. Courtney Henderson.
Yeah, I'm here.
We invited Courtney
she's
Hendrickson. She's the Vice President of Partnerships for Advanced CT, formerly, as you all know, as CERC. Courtney's been in the business for many decades, and she's a professional. So we asked her here to give us an update of what's going on with Advanced CT, any changes, which I know there are. So maybe we can just get a feel for what's going on.
Okay, fine.
Courtney, all yours.
Okay, great. Nice to see all of you. And I'll just do a very brief overview of Advanced CT. And then if y'all have questions, we can entertain those questions. Thanks, Ray, for that introduction. We were CERC, Connecticut Economic Resource Center, until late 2019 when we changed our name and we really focused our mission to economic growth for the state. So we're all about business retention, expansion, and recruitment now. And we'd like to see an increase in jobs and investment into the state. We're still a private nonprofit, and we are focused, as I say, statewide, but independent of the state government. However, we do get some funding from the state government and work closely with the Department of Economic and Community Development. We also are partially funded, and that's about half of our budget, and the other half comes from the corporate private sector. And those folks serve as members in our organization and on our board, and they also fund our operations. So our model is very similar to Choose New Jersey, if you've heard of it, or Jobs Ohio, Enterprise Florida, Mass Econ. Those are the kinds of models in other states that have done a really nice public-private partnership to do economic development. And that is what our current governor's administration wanted to try in Connecticut and asked us to be that private sector arm to the public state agency. So that's who we are. We have a couple of teams within our small organization. We're about 18 people strong. And we have my team, which is called Partnerships. We leverage economic development partners like yourselves all over the state in order to originate ideas around what businesses we can help retain and expand. So our team is responsible for the BRE, business retention and expansion work. I have a counterpart in business development, which would be more attraction, recruitment from out of state or out of country into Connecticut. So we have a small team doing recruitment. And then we have a marketing arm, which mostly focuses outside the state, marketing to companies and site selectors and consultants outside the state to consider bringing their business here. And I can talk a little bit more about that if that's of interest. And then finally, we have a research department in-house, and they work on all kinds of information that would lead to pitch decks that we put together to recruit businesses and other large economic development initiatives and challenges that we want researched. They have all kinds of data sources, and they're able to do that with us. So those are our main buckets, if you will. And we have been involved in some of the perception changes. I think you've probably seen of late some of the media, the headlines around the rankings increasing in Connecticut. We've had a role to play in that. And our research department is working currently on occupational licensing research for the state to really cut some of the red tape that they see being an issue for, again, our business climate and the perception of it being difficult to do business in the state, those kinds of issues. On the municipal front, we've shifted from what we were doing, which was a fee-for-service consulting business to help achieve economic development goals at the local level, to a more broad-based approach. So we do have the following services that we offer to municipalities. The first is a monthly meeting that we host. We call it our Municipal and Regional Partners Meeting. And I think Ray jumps onto that from time to time. Ray, isn't that right?
Yeah, I try to attend the full meeting.
Great. And those are monthly. We do have the DECD commissioner and deputy commissioner on those meetings each month to help update the municipal and regional partners all over the state. These are economic development staff and volunteers, as well as elected officials that come to this meeting. We usually have close to 100 people. These have been virtual all throughout COVID, and they're a time that we can put forth a speaker. Last month we had, for example, the SBDC team, the Small Business Development Center, really lifted the hood up and helped us understand what services they offer that maybe the general public and our small business communities don't know about. So it's that kind of approach at those meetings. We also do a monthly best practice. Those usually come in the form of a webinar or a small report. This year, the following topics have been covered. At the holiday time, we did a buy local program so that towns could really understand the formula to how to do a buy local program in their own community. We've done a webinar on readying your community for international recruitment, streamlining your land use regulatory process, the balance that a one-man band like Ray would need to have between land use planning and economic development, which many of our towns only have one person dedicated to both functions. So how do you balance that? And we did another webinar on boomer-owned business succession planning. We have a lot of businesses in Connecticut owned by that older generation and haven't thought through what's next after they want to retire or, God forbid, get sick or something happens and their children don't want the business and that kind of thing. So we offered a webinar on that topic. We do a weekly email. So we announce certain events that are happening in the economic development world within Connecticut. We talk about grant opportunities and other things we want to be sure this audience, this municipal partner audience, can take advantage of. And lastly, we partner closely with CCM, the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, COST, Council of Small Towns, and CEDIS, Connecticut Economic Development Association, and we support their efforts and partner closely on the kinds of coaching towns and providing presentations and other kinds of activities to make sure that municipal boards like yourselves and staff feel supported doing local economic development. So that's the changes in a nutshell that have taken place as we've become Advanced CT. And I'll leave it there. I'm happy to answer any questions or engage in further conversation.
Anyone?
Is there anyone who has any questions?
I have a question, Courtney.
Sure.
The monthly meetings that you have with the towns and the legislators, is that open to any residential member, or is that just specifically for the, like someone like in Ray's position?
It's usually the Ray and his peers around the state. But if there's a commissioner that would like to join, we'd be happy for that person. We generally don't open it up more broadly than that.
Okay. So if one of us wanted to attend,
That would be fine.
we would be
Yep.
okay. Okay, good.
Yeah, just let me know and I'll add you to the list.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Or can I actually forward the email to them?
Yes, you can. Yep.
That'll be a lot easier. I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Ray.
With your weekly email that you mentioned, how do you get onto that list?
I can add you if you'd like.
Excellent.
Okay. Ray, I'll get maybe the emails from you and add everyone,
I
or
will.
anyone who was interested.
I will forward that to you.
Happy to do that.
Okay. This is Marty, and hello?
Hi.
Hello, we're here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fine. I wanted to find out in terms of you say that you have a marketing, marketing division. How do you reach people from out of state who are thinking of perhaps they're not even thinking of Rocky Hill, Connecticut, and how do you reach them? I mean, what mechanisms do you use? What publications? What mechanisms? Seminars? What?
Yeah, thanks, Marty. That's a great question. We have a lot of knowledge around the regional site selectors. I would say the New England and Mid-Atlantic site selectors, as well as commercial real estate industry professionals. So we usually tap those groups and generally try to stay quite in close communication with them and what's going on in the region. And we keep our mailing lists, email distribution lists and the like up to date there so that they can be understanding when we have an opportunity, we can match them with the appropriate site and that kind of thing. And then we also try, it's been difficult in COVID, but in normal times, we try to attend large trade shows and other events like site selector events that we know will draw that kind of audience. A lot of our corporate, sort of corporate America private sector companies, if they're thinking about moving, let's say, they'll hire a site selector and then that site selector will put out an RFP that says anyone who wants to bid for this group to come to their state, if you have the following characteristics or if you have properties that meet the following specs, you can raise your hand. So we try and get on all of those mailing lists and get an awareness of what they're looking for and then try to respond accordingly if we have appropriate sites. And that's where Rocky Hill can raise their hand. I mean, we're familiar with Ray from a long time, but also very helpful for us to always be working with you closely to understand what properties you have. Of course, I've heard the recent media news about Ames, but that's certainly the type of property that we're knowledgeable about. And then we would connect with Ray to say, does this make sense for you and that kind of thing.
Okay. Are there any other questions that we would like to ask out there?
Nothing.
Okay, I don't hear anything. So thank you very much for your presentation. I know that we've had a presentation for you in the past, and just being able to update us on what you're currently doing and what your role is very helpful for us. And thank you very much for offering to add all of the commissioners onto your mailing list to possibly attend your meetings. I think that for anyone who's interested in the commission is a good thing to do. Okay.
We're
Thank
happy
you
to
much.
do that. Thank you, guys. And Ray, I'll
Just,
get with you about the lists.
One more comment. You guys have moved out of Rocky Hill, correct? To New
We
Haven?
have not yet, actually. We're still over in the tech center off of 91, and we are planning a move to New Haven. And that looks like it's going to be happening in about October of this year.
We're going to have to
Oh.
try to derail that project if we can.
I was
You
just.
better work quick.
We kind of like having you in town.
Oh, thank you. Those buildings actually are emptying. So that's something to get in front of. I'm sure you guys know this.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I think what the pandemic has done nationwide, if not worldwide, it's changed the way people do business and where their housing, where actually their workforce is being housed.
Certainly, yes.
You know, I was recently down in New York City, and I was amazed at some of the places that we went to. The buildings are half empty. They're empty.
Yeah.
They're empty. I mean, people are not going to work anymore. They're working out at home and Zoom.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's something that going forward, is just recently I saw on television just the other day that there were companies like the big tech companies are now saying, well, if you want to work from home, and we're paying you out of San Francisco, okay, we're now going to pay you whatever we would have paid somebody who's working in Connecticut and not San Francisco, which is a cut in pay.
Right.
So I think the whole scenario of economic development is kind of undergoing some dramatic changes out there that we've got to pay attention to.
Absolutely. We're seeing that too.
So, I thought I would add that in, so that's interesting. But, thank you so much. And, I personally look forward to attending one of your meetings. I think I did attend one of your meetings a couple of years back, but I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we'll be happy to have you all back in the fold.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney.
Okay, we'll be in touch. See you soon.
Bye.
In looking at Ray, and looking at the agenda, I am going to actually say that I need a motion out there for us to accept the minute meetings for our meeting in July.
Okay.
Can somebody please make that motion so
Sure.
that we can add it now to the agenda?
Yes. This is Doris. I make a motion to accept the July 13, 2021 meeting minutes.
Okay,
Yep.
second.
Now, what,
Okay.
to be legal, we need to have a motion to amend the agenda to include approval of the minutes. And then you actually have to have another motion to approve the minutes.
Right, right. So
So-
can I have a motion to amend the agenda so that we cover that now?
Okay.
Motion from Brian.
Okay,
Okay, can we have
Second.
a second?
Second the motion to amend the agenda.
Okay, fine. So now I will ask for a motion to actually accept the minutes for the July, I think it's the July 13th meeting.
Yeah,
So I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of July 13, 2021.
Okay, can we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
that would
Okay,
be Kathy.
Yes.
Fine, all in favor? Aye. Okay, so we've accepted the minutes. Okay, can we then now move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the director's report?
Okay,
All's in your part, Dave.
I provided the commission with a written report this month. So we'll just start from the beginning. My report may not follow. No, okay, never mind. Number one, a little update on the Ames redevelopment project. Last month, the Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed or was presented to by the Belfonte companies, the potential developer purchaser of the property, preliminary application plans, which included conceptual site plan and conceptual architecturals. Belfonte companies hopefully will be submitting a full application to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a special permit for their September meeting. That's still up in the air right now, but word has it that they may be ready for September. Again, it's a mixed-use development, commercial and residential. It's a good idea to have them come before economic development as a presentation to the commission, to this
Yeah.
commission. Not a public hearing, but a presentation where the developer will inform the EDC what their plans are and what they plan on doing, and timelines and costs and jobs and the values associated with the redevelopment of the property. So when the time comes, you'll see that on the agenda, on your agenda.
Okay, fine. So we leave that in your hands to coordinate with them coming before us to explain what it is they want to do. Okay.
Okay, Town Center West project. Recently, I referred a restaurant owner looking to relocate to Rocky Hill. I recommended them looking at Town Center West, and I believe they've spoken to the owner and the realtor, and things look promising right now. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that phase 2 of Town Center West.
That's great.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Hey, can you tell us what the restaurant is?
We certainly are lucky at the number of restaurants who want to have a piece of business in Rocky Hill. I will say that.
We do have a lot of them.
Yep. Okay.
No,
on the,
I cannot tell you who the restaurant is at this point.
no, because there's still negotiations going on, I suppose.
Quick update on the Celestine Highway streetscape. Phase 3 has been completed. There's finishing up some very minor late touches, but essentially the project is complete. In concert with that, the town has joined CGI. That's the company that produced our town video, if you remember, a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
They do
Right.
have a banner program where it's the same process where businesses will be offered an opportunity to sponsor a banner. Their logo will be on the banner along with the town's logo. We have about 95 poles now with potential to hang banners. And this was an opportunity to get those banners hung at no cost to the town. The company will hang the banners, maintain them, insure them, supply all the hardware. If they get damaged, they'll come back out and replace them. So it's a program that we really could not pass up at this time, knowing how many new light poles are out in the Celestine Highway, which are about 75, plus the existing poles we have around Town Hall and at the town center area where the clock is.
Okay. In terms of the banners themselves, they are going to be standardized to the town, I guess.
Yeah, we plan on using the logo that we developed, that we use everywhere now, Rocky Hill, Make New History Here.
Okay.
And then
I just wanted
the
to
bottom
get,
portion of the banner will be either the name of the business, or if a business has a logo, they can have their own logo on that banner.
They can have their own logo on. Okay, fine. But so long as the town identity logo is there.
Yes, right, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I just want to double check on that. Okay. Let's see. What's next on your report? Oh yes, the foundry. What's happening
Foundry.
down there?
Things are moving, picking up a little bit of speed. They're working with DEEP, Department of Environmental Energy and Environmental Protection at the state level, trying to work through some of the environmental remediation and testing requirements of the state. They have tweaked their building site plan and their building design. If you recall, their original site plan was approved quite a few years ago. So they needed to modify their site plan and their layout of the buildings to reflect the current housing trends. So we await, hopefully, building permit applications coming maybe hopefully in the next 6 months or so.
Okay. That project
Yeah.
seems to be taking,
It's taking a long
like,
time.
yeah, it is taking a long time, and part of it has to do with that whole remediation situation. I think we kind of expected that right from the beginning. Okay. What's your next topic?
TIF, tax increment financing, we have not really followed up on that recently. We started the process, kind of got lost during COVID, and then we started focusing on the town farm or Shasta farm issues with remediation and purchasing the property. And now we're dealing with since we got the grant, we have to do quite a bit of filings and paperwork and going through cost estimates. So and also with Ames. So the TIF has been put on the back burner right now, but we will follow through with that hopefully in the ensuing months.
Okay.
Questions? No? Yes?
I have a question. Who, about the banners on Celestine? Who does people contact to inquire about a banner?
The company CGI will be contacting every business in town. So exactly what they did for the video.
Oh,
There'll be a cost associated. If you're interested, they will talk to you. They will work with you. They'll work with your design. They'll do the whole process.
okay.
Yeah. So they will be calling.
Okay. And then I have another question. Remember when, what was that brewery? Is it Boondoggle?
Boondoggle.
What is it?
Boondoggle.
Boondoggle.
Boondoggle. What's up with them? I mean, are they coming still in or?
I believe they purchased a property in Weathersfield.
Oh,
They still may be interested at 45 Evans Road for something in the future, but that property, they found another property that they could move into much faster.
oh, yeah.
So that's what he's doing now.
Oh, all right.
But he's still interested, I'm told, and so he has not forgotten about that property.
Mm. But he can't purchase that property right now, right? Wasn't it something about a lease for a while and then he could?
Yeah. There was a structure where he wanted to lease the property for X number of years and eventually wind up owning the property and developing in phases, expanding in phases over time to the open pavilion overlooking the river and food service restaurant, things like that.
Right.
So hopefully that's still bubbling, but it's going to be delayed
Yeah. Oh.
quite a bit. Just to go through the additional activities / assistance. If you have any questions, you can just hop in. Independent Electrical Contractors Union, which is located behind Stepney Place in their parking lot way in the back. They'll be leasing 13,000 square feet on Dividend Road, the former Weston Sampson engineering firm. They moved to Brook Street. Sunset Rentals, which is a construction shoring company, equipment company, shoring, when you see the excavations in the streets, they have those cast iron boxes they put in those holes to stop the walls from caving in. They purchased the property at 647 Cromwell Avenue, up behind the car wash. You can't see it from the road, but it's way up and back. It's where the Durham Bus Company used to be.
Mm-hmm.
They will be occupying that building for their rental services. Let's see. The project that was presented to EDC for 41 Glastonbury Avenue, that small mixed-use development. There were, I believe, 3 apartments and a small amount of retail.
Yeah.
That project will be going to planning and zoning for a special permit. And when he came before us, I believe the commission decided to provide a letter of support when the time came. So I'll be drafting that letter for Marty to take a look at and sign.
Okay.
The medical building on Cromwell Avenue, Trinity Health. They were issued a CO, a certificate of occupancy for the shell of the building, which means they're getting close. They haven't fit out the interior, but getting very close to a full occupancy, hopefully in the next couple of months for a grand opening. I know they had contacted initially us for a grand opening, but the chamber will be hearing from them pretty soon also for a grand opening and hopefully a membership.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Last month, Lieutenant Governor was here to hold
Yes.
a brief press conference on the town farm, Straska Farm, for our brownfield grant that we received to remediate the soil contamination on part of the property, and for the construction and for the grant to construct the barn for educational, agricultural educational purposes. I think that was on Channel 8 in Fox News for probably 10 or 15 seconds of fame.
That is interesting. Okay.
And I just made a listing here of some new restaurants in town: Jersey Mike's, Tomato Joe's, Salute, which is, they're not all open yet, but they will be. Dosa Hut and Panizo, those are all the new ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
you know what? I did leave out Taco.
Yeah, what do you have any idea when Jersey Mike is opening?
They're open.
Oh, they are
They're
open. Okay, fine.
They are open, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I missed them. Okay, yeah, I know that. I know that Dosa Hut and Panizo are also open.
Right. And I did forget about Taco Bell. Have to add that to the list.
Yeah, Taco Bell. When I mentioned that to a neighbor, she said, when are we gonna entice a good Irish pub location to come to town? She wants either that or a French restaurant.
I have a
So
question.
put that word out there.
Okay, I have a question, Ray. What's any update with the Dakota restaurant on Silent Steam Highway?
They do not plan on opening anytime soon.
Ah,
No. I talked to her and they're just not ready.
Wow.
One thing to mention about the restaurants, I've heard from Jersey Mike's, I've seen Tomato Joe's and Salou all advertising for workers right now. I'm sure almost all these are looking for workers.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well. Okay. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add, Ray?
Yeah, well, one more. I recently joined a company called Global Site Location Services. 10 years ago, they were called the World Economic Development Association. They are similar to what Courtney was talking about as site locators. This company travels around the country to trade shows. They gather information from other companies looking to either expand or relocate or provide a new location, or another satellite company in another state or region. So they have a nationwide database of companies who are looking to do that, and so we now have access to that.
Wonderful.
Recently joined, so I just have to work through some of the glitches of the software. But if we get one company, it's worth the value. A few years back, 10 years ago, so we joined for 2 years, and we almost had two. But it's a very good resource on top of other site location services that might be out there.
Okay. Does anyone have any additional questions for Ray in terms of what he's covered, or
I'm
anything
all-
else that may not be on the agenda or on his report?
Very quiet out there.
No?
No,
Very quiet.
okay. I'm testing the audience. I'm testing the participants here. Okay, fine. So if we're finished with the director's report and have no questions, I would ask for a motion to have us adjourn. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
Somebody has to second.
I'll second it.
Right.
For the meeting.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
Thank
you're
you.
all
Thank you.
Brian, I saw your
All in
mouth.
favor,
No.
aye, and see you next month, and hopefully next month we'll be able to meet in person again. We will be playing that by ear based on what the town manager and the mayor decide on in terms of access to town hall.
Right.
So everybody be careful out there, and have the rest of a very pleasant summer. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Have fun,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.